We have a huge full cast here. We got Sorrow, we've got Neek, and we've got me, all here in our usual Discord chat channel. If you guys are interested in joining the book club, definitely let us know. As you can probably guess, we would like a few more people to chat with. It would be very fun. So let me know down below if you're interested, or message me, email, and or Instagram. This week we read Pandora Hearts. A few of us got the collector's edition, the trunk that Yen Press started reprinting a while back, which is a super nice collection. If you guys are interested in getting Pandora Hearts, that is the route I would definitely recommend going, through the Yen Press official site. You cannot get it on Right Stuff, at least as far as I know. Do you guys know if it's available anywhere else besides Yen Press? I think it's only there, right?
I'm pretty sure it was only Yen Press.
Yeah, only Yen Press.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, Sarah, what did you think of Pandora Hearts?
So we said volumes 1 through 4, right?
Yep, 1 through 4.
I mean, was decent, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, didn't show that much for like 4 volumes, I think.
Yeah, you were like itching for more, huh? You like couldn't wait to get into it. You're like, man, I got to get into this world. The Abyss.
I think
is
it
like
was more of a, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I expected like more of not an action series, but more conflict, I guess. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
But I guess that's gonna come later.
I think you're right. I think they're probably gonna have a little bit more action later. Right now, I feel like they're really building up the mystery and intrigue of the series and the Abyss. They're trying to like world build right now, and hopefully they do that. And I feel like they've done a pretty good job of it at this point, because I'm pretty invested in this world, and I feel like to most people it's just like normal, like Victorian age England, and then like to these like 4 dukedoms, it's like also there's this supernatural world called the Abyss where they're trying to get access to, and it seems like whoever controls the Abyss has this power to control more somehow, probably the world, because that's what bad guys do. How about you, Neek? What did you think of it so far?
I found it a little slow, honestly. I was kind of hoping that they would get a little bit more into it and maybe like explain like how this is affecting normal people. Like, do normal people know about the Abyss, or is it just these like 2 factions that are going about? And like, what happened while he was gone? Did that affect anything? Or I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell like the stakes of the events, and it feels like they started to explain like all of the dukedom stuff, but they're kind of giving it to us like really slowly in like little pieces. And yeah, I do want to know more, but I don't know. I kind of figured by the 4th volume we'd be more into it.
Yeah, definitely I can see where you would think it'd be kind of rolling by now. It was kind of confusing to me, especially in like the 1st volume, because I was reading it and then I was like, okay, that after Oz goes through the Abyss, I was like, okay, we're back. These people that's Break, the new guy, that's Break's sister, cool. And I was like, I think that's Gil, right? And like I couldn't understand like what really happened, so I was like, why is Gil like looking older now? And then I think in the 3rd volume it was revealed that that is Gil, and that actually, like, what was it, 10 or 7 years have passed, something like that.
I think it was 10.
10, yeah. And he's just older. So I was like confused because they just called him Raven, and I was like, why are they calling Gil Raven? And then they were like, oh yeah, that's Gil. Huge plot twist, by the way, right? And I was like, no, I was confused why he was Raven, not why he was Gil. And then when they said 10 years later, I was like, oh shit, that's kind of cool. And they were talking about how the Baskerville faction were the hooded guys and the cultist people who worship the Abyss or something like that. And they've been like missing or something like that because they tried to go and take other people's doors. It's interesting how the dukedoms have these doors, and they made this organization called Pandora when they're all just trying to stab each other in the back. It's like, let's make the United Nations, but then also we secretly just want to take over the world. It's like, why would you make the United Nations, which is about peace, if you're going to try to take over the world? It seems like you're making your own antagonist. Which, why would you do that? But
Right.
that's just
But,
like
like,
my take on that.
so is Pandora one of the dukedoms, or is it the other 3 dukedoms?
It's like a police force made up of all the dukedoms, from what I understood. Did you have any other interpretation of that, Sorrow? Because I don't know. That's what I thought it was. Is it something
Which
else? Pandora. You know, the people that are like about the abyss.
I mean, yeah, I think it was like shown as more like a secret, organization.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's part of all of the dukedoms.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I understand. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Since they still, like, everyone else was saying so far, haven't really super explored the story, I guess at this point. There still are a lot of questions. One of which is, why is Oz like the only, I don't know how to say this name, Versalis remaining? Like, what is with his dad, and why does he hate Oz for being born? It's like, dude, you participated in that event, I'm assuming, so that doesn't make sense to me a lot. And what's with his uncle? The dude is like super cheery, happy, Hohenheim kind of guy, and I'm like, this guy's fucking evil. Like, he's gotta be. He's way too happy. This manga seems kind of depressing. Like, once it, shows you the darker side of everything, I'm like, this guy sucks. Gil's life sucked. He had to, like, his brother is like this huge villain, and he had to live like a double life the whole time Oz was gone. And I'm like, so every character seems like they have this shitty side to him. So I'm like, what is the uncle's like shittiness to him? Like, what the heck is his deal? Because there's no way he's the only happy-go-lucky guy in all these dukedoms, just like chilling, living life.
I figured from like the beginning, even from the first volume, that he seemed like he was in Pandora. Like, he was on their side, because they were like, oh yeah, whatever, Oz is coming to our side now. And at the time, you're like, I don't know what that means.
Oh yeah, that's
and
true.
like,
I forgot about that.
The uncle's kind of facilitating all of this, it seems. And like, when Oz came back, now Uncle's back and talking to Pandora and whatever. So I kind of figured that Uncle was part of Pandora, and it kind of seems like his dad might be part of the hooded guys. What are they? The Baskervilles?
The Baskervilles, yeah. That'd be a little odd, because I think either Versailles or Versailles, whatever it's called. So I don't know. It's just that his dukedom is just the most bizarre, because we know like literally nothing about it. The Gills,
we don't know anything about any of the dukedoms, though.
Well, the only thing we do know
just that they're dukedoms
is Gil's
and that they have doors.
Are a bunch of assholes who live in the shadows for whatever reason, and everybody hates them. For whatever reason, that the Baskervilles are supposedly dead, but it looks like they're not dead. I have a feeling they were probably researching the Abyss, and since they said time's funky in the Abyss, they're probably all in the Abyss, since they had that huge explosion, and they're just like jumping out at random spots in time to try to like capitalize on certain events that they know are happening, or they think are happening, based on in the Abyss. But I don't really know, obviously, either. That's just my guess on it, because I mean, where else could they be, the Baskervilles? I mean, they're clearly still somewhere. They said time's all timey-wimey Doctor Who status in the Abyss. So that's probably where they are, in my opinion. But who knows?
They also just like threw a lot of characters at us that you don't really know what to do with yet. Like, is it Gil's brothers really weird?
Yeah, the dude's really creepy.
And the character with him, Echo, is kind of weird.
Yeah, Echo was kind of confusing. Is Echo a chain, or is Echo a person?
I do not know.
Okay, I don't really know either. But yeah, Echo seemed really weird. They really kind of introduced him, I guess, really towards the end of Volume 4, and didn't do a ton with introducing him. They kind of just like, Echo's here, and he's this big thing, and I was like, good for you, Echo. You do that important plot point that you're up to. We'll learn more about you later, probably. Maybe he's Oz's mom. I don't know. But it's just, yeah, some of those things are kind of weird. I think I would really like this a lot more as a weekly release. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, once we get more into it, I'm sure things will be explained, but I was just expecting a little bit more by Volume 4. But they just like threw, was it Xerxes break?
Yeah.
Like he's got some sort of story there. They're hinting that he has some story, but haven't really gotten to anything. And then they haven't really mentioned anything about the girl. What was her name?
I honestly can't remember his sister's name to save my life.
Is it his sister? I don't know if I remembered that.
I thought it was his sister. They don't have a character
Very possible
biography, which is annoying. But yeah, I don't know. I was under the impression it was his sister. It might not be. It might just be that they are partners in Pandora, and they have to just work together. But I'm fairly certain.
Was it Sharon?
Sharon?
I'm just looking at character on the internet.
That would probably be.
I think it was Sharon.
She was the daughter of the other dukedom, wasn't she?
She was the daughter of the other dukedom.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't have a clue. You know, she's a main character. And...
It's hard to tell from these pictures because they don't look quite like the manga.
Oh, it's because it put the anime pictures there. I can see
It does say that she first met him at the coming of age ceremony, so I think that's her.
Yeah, because
she's part of the Rainsworth dukedom. The wiki, which I'm trying really not to read too much of, says that Break is her retainer.
Oh.
So whatever that means.
No, yeah, you're right. It's Sharon Rainsworth. You're right. I see it now, and it says Xerxes Break is her servant. Huh. And that's there, complete with a giant clock. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, so it's Sharon Rainsworth, who I didn't even realize was part of the 4 dukedoms, the Rainsworth dukedom. But I guess it must be right. Night Ray, Versailles. I'm just gonna say it completely different every time I think. Varma dukedom, and then Baskerville. Yeah, Rainsworth must just be part of the Salius or the Night Ray, something like that, because they seem to be pretty interested in Night Ray. I don't know. Oh no, I see Rainsworth dukedom now. There we go. Oh, is there 5 dukedoms? Oh, but they call it the 4 because Baskerville's gone.
Is that it? Maybe.
3,
or was Baskerville 4, built to
5.
verse the dukedoms? Or to verse Pandora? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that is definitely 5. No, I think they made each dukedom based on who had a door. So if you have a door, then you're a dukedom. And then there's 5 doors, which they definitely mentioned before. And Pandora is trying to, as an organization made of all of them, that's trying to get them all, just like the Pokemon. Yep. And then they can rule the world and become the #1 Pokemon master. Wow. Apparently it was originally released and licensed by Broccoli Books in English. Sorrow,
wow.
did you get the broccoli book edition, Sorrow?
The what?
The broccoli book edition of Pandora Hearts.
No, it was digital.
Drat.
Digital. Yeah, impressed.
I was really hoping to see a rare version of broccoli books. I've never seen that publisher in my life. Anyways. Oh, but there are plenty of books about broccoli, actually.
I have a few broccoli books.
Like books about broccoli or books by broccoli publishers?
By broccoli.
You have to be specific. Yeah,
I think the Disgaea books were made by Broccoli Books.
Oh, at one point. I think now they're
yeah.
Somebody else.
They might be
Yep,
now.
You're right. Broccoli Books, Disgaea. Broccoli Books Deluxe made Disgaea too. Holy moly! They weren't messing around there. Pulling out the big tag.
Their books are really hard to find.
Shocking.
Oh yeah, and I have the DigiCharity stuff.
Yeah, I literally, they're like, sometimes every time I come across a new publisher I've never heard before, I'm like, is this publisher still around, or is this publisher who failed? And I was fairly confident Broccoli Books probably did not last long, because that is not something I would see on a book title and say, that's what I'm going to pick up. I would say, is this book about broccoli? Because like, that's just bizarre. I don't know why they would do that. But
I feel like the things that they did take on were more well-known things. Like, people know about Galaxy Angel.
I've never heard
of
Galaxy
Disgaea.
Angel. I have heard of Disgaea, but I wouldn't say anybody else besides one of my other friends knows about Disgaea. Galaxy Angel manga. Oh, that's a video game.
Disgaea is a big video game franchise.
Yeah, it's bigger in Japan, but I feel like in English I don't know. I feel like it doesn't always sell super good. I always feel like it's like walking on eggshells, but maybe it's not. Galaxy.
And I feel like I saw DigiCharity everywhere back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I think I have a DigiCharity like Viz manga though, but maybe I don't.
You might. These ones were just the theater ones. I think 1 through 4 may have been a different publisher.
Oh, okay. All I can find for DigiCharity is like the... Oh, maybe because I didn't put a space.
Yeah, it is Viz.
Yeah, Viz.
Yeah, Viz did 1 through 4. And then Broccoli did the theater stuff. I haven't read them yet, but I have been collecting them.
Leave it to Ryoko. Interesting. So for the Pandora Hearts, did you guys like find it a little bit? Well, I guess you probably did in Sorrow because you were reading it online. But did you find it like kind of heavy? Because I actually felt like I was having a hard time reading it because this is gonna sound like the biggest nitpick in the world, but my books were too crisp on the spine, and so it really was like hurting my hand when I was reading it. I like don't usually complain about books being too heavy, but like I kind of like even like bent it up a little bit because of the pressure on my hand when I was reading it in bed, because it was just pressing on me so hard that it just bent itself. I don't know. Did you have that problem too, or not really?
I have a lounge chair that I sit in when I read. Specifically, I only read omnibuses and big thick books like this in there because I couldn't hold a book that heavy above my head.
You can't hold
for that long to read it.
Oh yeah, you mean like you can't hold it like that? Yeah, I got you. I was like,
that would get tiring. Yeah,
I was like, I don't know, I can hold it above my head. Like, I don't know why you need to do that, but
to like lie down and read it,
yeah.
like
it was
yeah,
hard.
I could imagine. And the hype, and the fact that we had to buy it all in one go for the box set.
I personally would definitely continue it because I'm like really involved with the Abyss. I like what it's doing, and I really like the chains. I think chains are driving this whole series for me. If it wasn't for chains, I would not be here right now. And the reason I love the chains so much is because of their Alice in Wonderland nature and kind of relation, especially Cheshire. I feel like he is super interesting how he gets his own world within the Abyss. In Alice's Memories, which is kind of like side paneled but then like briefly brought back, and we see that it ties very closely in with Oz's past and family. So that was really cool. And also we see this guy Jack, and I'm like, man, that's Jack and the Beanstalk. I recognize this guy anywhere. He's gonna trade his mom's cow for beans. I've seen this 100 times now. I know where this is going. Maybe that's why Alice is trying to kill him. Who can say? But it was interesting that Cheshire must have some sort of relation to Break, because Oz is like, oh, that was Break's eye for a second there, and how Break is also missing an eye. Is there any character that's missing an eye besides Break at this point? I don't think so.
I don't recall them.
But if we ever see a one-eyed person again, they're probably Break. Like, Break's probably split into two, and that's why he's young. It's probably more than just his curse. At least that's my guess on it, anyways. But yeah.
But the Rainsworth girl is also young.
Yes, she
After
I think
10 years.
has a
So the
different
age
curse.
thing does seem like just people who have a contract.
The age thing is for people who have a contract, you think?
That's the impression that I got.
Mhm.
I'm not sure.
That could be. I think
I don't
each
know that
contract's a bit different.
the Alice theme or whatever is doing too much for me, and that might just be a personal gripe because I've been reading a lot of bad manga based on these themes lately. Like I got a haul for Alice in the Country of Hearts a while back, and it came with a whole bunch of other Alice and Oz themed manga that I didn't care for, but it was just like a big lot of books. So I was like, okay, fine. And I kind of pride myself on reading anything I get my hands on. And so I wanted to read it to see if it should stay on the shelves because I'm running out of shelf space, and if it's garbage that it needs to go. So I've been reading them, and they've all been really, really bad. So I'm just like over with the Alice theme being used and the Wizard of Oz theme being used.
Yeah.
And so when it popped up, I was like, oh dear, here's another one.
Oh man. I can definitely understand where you're coming from there. Luckily for me, the most Alice in Wonderland themed I've read so far, or recently rather, I guess I should say, has been Alice in Borderland, and that is of course super duper good. So I was itching for more, and so I got a little bit more, which I was kind of happy with actually. I think people have said Pandora Hearts does take a little bit to get going, and then once it takes off, it like really takes off. But yeah, that being said, 4 volumes is kind of already a deeper ask for a lot of people. I did think that was interesting how there is like a little clock for the chains. The fact that Alice is a girl, and they bring that to our attention very early on, that's unusual, is going to be a bigger plot point than they've kind of made it seem at this point. And they've made it seem pretty big, but I think it's going to be like humongo. And Cheshire also, I think, is going to be pretty important, but probably not super important is my thought process. But I really love Bloody Rabbit, Alice's, I think, true form. I kind of wonder if Alice is real, and then Alice, was always a girl, and then she got involved in the Abyss, and either she fused with the chain, or she was previously contracted with this chain that is the rabbit from Disney's Alice in Wonderland, running around with the clock, in Smee's voice going, we're late. I wonder if they kind of got mixed together because they were contracted or something like that. But hard to really say. Totally just speculating that. Just complete nonsense there. But overall, I thought that the volumes looked super nice. That was cool. And the art was super nice inside of it. I think we touched on a little bit earlier how things are kind of confusing, and how we were more confused that they were surprised that it was Gil than they were that Gil wasn't older. Because, like I mentioned, I was really confused that Gil was older, not that that was Gil. Another weird thing is the fact that, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like all of Volume 3 is this guy and his son, and he makes an illegal contract, and he's like a crazy man, and Oz is like, I dare you to kill me, crazy man. See if you can live with yourself. And then like Oz just takes him down. He's like, fuck that. You ain't gonna kill me. I'm gonna kill you. But obviously he just incapacitates him. So yeah, I wonder if they're ever going to like break off and try to stop these illegal bonds, or is this just like a one-time thing with the chains, or what?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just like a backstory for the organization of Pandora and like what they're all about, or if they're trying to go somewhere with it.
You don't think this kid's like the Millennium Earl and he's secretly like puppeteering the whole thing? Sarah, what is the wildest thing that you think is going to happen in this manga at this point? What do you think is going to take off? Like, what is the craziest thing that you could possibly predict happening right now in the series?
Probably like Oz. He's like maybe not a human or not real, something like that. Maybe that he's like the Abyss himself, maybe something like that.
Oh shit!
Something crazy like that. I can see that happening.
That would be pretty crazy, actually. If like Oz being born like literally created the Abyss and then spun all this into motion. If I was his dad, I'd be pretty mad. About that kid too, I guess. So like, man, you literally made all this war and death and murder just by living. Yeah, I could see that being an issue. That's a pretty crazy take. I kind of hope it goes that way now, because now that would be like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Man, that would be pretty wild. My craziest take would probably be, there's some like creepy imagery in here too, like this scene right here, like that's kind of wild looking. The Sharon, but it was actually a chain in disguise. My craziest take would probably be that Oz is split into two different personalities, and his self also split into two, and his like 10-year older self is working with the Baskervilles and is like the main man behind the scene, and he is like the like literally Oz from the Wizard of Oz. He's the guy who's running everything behind the screen so nobody can see him, and then he's just manipulating things kind of like that. That would be like my biggest take, and he's like running Pandora at the same time to get all the power in the world. And then little boy Oz is like, the chillest little guy. How about you, Neek? What do you think is the wildest thing that's going to happen in the series so far, or that's going to happen later?
I don't know. That's a really hard question.
I'm really asking you to use all of your imagination and artistic thoughts.
I have zero. I don't know, but I do like wonder. Like, we're starting to get all these characters, and they've got names like Oz and Alice and Cheshire. Does that mean that they were always destined to be these characters in this plot because they have these names? Like, were they born to do these roles? Because there's other characters like Gil. Gil doesn't have a special name. Gil's just Gil. And like Sharon,
he's the Raven, right?
Sharon.
Well, I guess no. You know what? You're right. Yeah, because Gil is.
He's not the
Gil.
Raven.
The Raven is his
the Raven chain.
Yeah, you're right.
So like these other characters that have these special names, were they always meant to fulfill these roles? Was it like a predetermined destiny prediction kind of thing, or what? Like, did his dad call him Oz knowing that he was going to be the Oz character in this story kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just something that happened by random?
Yeah, I don't know. Is Oz? I think it's short for like Ozymandias or something like that. Right? Or or am I just talking out of my butt, confusing it with what's it called? Watchmen. I might be doing that. But yeah, that could be definitely a thing for sure. I could see his dad kind of being behind a lot of it, or even Oz himself. Oz used to like this story as a kid, and then his dad told it to him a lot, and then he was like, or his mom told it to him a lot, and then like he like made this whole scenario, and it all happened, and then that's like wrapping all three of our theories into one. And that's how I would do it if I was an author, throwing shit at the wall, trying to get something to stick. But I don't know. That's an interesting thing. I don't know when this series starts to get really wild, though. I just remember people mentioning that it gets really crazy towards the middle end, but I mean,
so that's at what? How many volumes are there? 24?
Yeah, so 12. What's it called? 12 omnis. Let's see. I'm gonna Google it. When does Pandora Hearts get wild? They're gonna say chapter 1 when I Google this. Wow, the number one thing when I type "when Pandora Hearts" is
get good.
Get good. When does Pandora Hearts get good? Posted in 2014. Pandora Hearts is a 10 out of 10, published in 2021. When it gets good. All right, let's click that. I'm 13 chapters in, and I'm borderline dropping this. People speak really highly of it, and I just want to know if I should continue before it gets good. Let's see, how far are we? Like 14 chapters?
18 chapters.
18 chapters in, so we're 4 chapters past that. There's a twist in the series that definitely makes it more enjoyable. But you should be at least mildly interested by now. Okay.
Somebody said the first 30 to 35 chapters are a mess.
Yep, I see that one too. That's great. So I guess we're par for the course right now. This one cracks me up though from Mal.
We're going through. We're just a little sus.
I read the first 4 volumes. I'm wondering if it gets better. It doesn't seem like things are really moving forward. Same with me in the beginning, but I am sure that this will get better. Around volume 10, things to be way more interesting. Oh man, that's like far.
The next comment down, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh no. You don't really know what Pandora Hearts is until you hit the Headhunters arc, which I guess we're not there. Oh, Headhunters arc starts at 11. That's when shit gets real. We're at volume 4. Man.
That's a lot to ask for, though, to make you get in 11 volumes.
I know. You think if they're going to make something good, they need to make it good by at least volume 4. Then they're going to make it like this huge banger that everybody needs to read by volume 11. That's fucked up. Jun Mochizuki, you need to really, be a little bit more on top of your manners, because that is inappropriate. Yeah,
Watch it be like a masterpiece by the end, and we just sound stupid now.
Yeah, that could be. That very well could be.
It does sound like people are saying that it's like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece series, but you have to get in halfway through the series before it gets good.
Yeah. Which really? We have to read half the series before it gets good. I mean, I guess One Piece you have to read like 8 volumes before it gets good, but that's probably just mine and a few other people's opinion. A lot of people really like East Blue arc, but I really hate it.
I think it was great. East Blue.
You thought it was great? Yeah, see, there's these uncultured people like Sarah who just love East Blue. That goes... No, it doesn't. Really? East Blue's 100 chapters? Oh, fuck me. Don't I sound like an asshole for complaining about 11 volumes?
Somebody commented, they said they just finished volume 20, and people are right. Everything before the Headhunters arc is introduction, but I still can't forgive it for being that boring because it took way too long before getting somewhere.
Wow. So it's true. It does get really good. Oh shoot! Now I really want to read it. I mean, I've already
I'm
bought
gonna
it.
continue reading. I
but-
have the books.
Yeah, I have it. I'm gonna.
I need to know if it's gotta stay on the shelf or get sold off. But
Oh, really? You would sell this off even if it was the biggest piece of trash in your life? I mean, look how pretty that looks.
Yeah, that looks great.
I could never
Wish I
sell
could
it
buy
off. Even if it
It's
was
pretty,
the
but
worst, I'd probably still keep it.
I have a certain amount of shelf space, and you and I have the same size collection, so you know what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm doing my video now. You can see all the aftermath.
Yeah, that's a lot of unorganized manga.
Well, it was organized before I filmed, but when I'm filming it, I take them out and I put it in a pile. Then I go through it so then I can show it off, and then I put it back in the box. But you know how it is. Anyways, hopefully more people come to the next one, and then we can talk about whatever wins. But let's see. Steph says that they are at work and they're trying to make more money to be a whale on Fate. Ooh. No.
If we read Blum, I think we should just do the whole series instead of like 3 volumes.
The whole
Because,
series? Are you kidding me, Sarah?
Yeah, like there's not a lot of dialogue, I think, in Blum.
Oh, and Blam. Oh, Blam? Yeah, no, you could totally do the whole series of Blam. I thought you were saying for Pandora Hearts. I
No,
thought
no,
next
no,
time you
no,
should
no.
read all of Pandora
No,
Hearts.
no,
I'm
no.
like, no. I don't know if we read the
No,
same
no.
thing, but
Let's
there
meet
was
again after 24 volumes.
yeah, there was a fair amount of dialogue in that.
Yeah, it was kind of heavier.
Yeah, I was talking about Blum or Blame. I don't know how it's called.
Yeah, Blom. Yeah,
Or
no,
Blom,
that
yeah.
that could you could definitely read the whole series in like 2 weeks easily. You could probably read it all in a day, honestly.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. What was...
Is Knights of Sidonia like that too?
I'm assuming so. I think Knights of Sidonia has more of a story, but like Blom is very similar to Abara, and Abara I read in like 15 minutes, and it's like this. I was really annoyed because it's like this really hardcover, oversized edition, and Josh like talked it up, saying it was pretty cool and like a pretty like good story, and then like I read through it in like 15 minutes, and it's like no, you gotta read it and then just like stare at the art and like dissect the story because there's like not a lot of dialogue there, and I was like, oh my god. So it was like it was
just stare at it.
yeah, it was good, but like it was it was so short because like you can just like scroll through it, and it's like it was like $20. I think somebody posted online that when it was out of print, because it got out of print or out of stock or something like that, it was like $80, and I was like, yeah, do not buy that for $80. That's like the fastest $80 spent, and then I think they started to reprint it recently. So, but yeah, Blom is the same way, I heard.
So you guys have both read Blom?
I haven't read it. I've just read Abara.
Yeah, I've read Blum.
You've
I've
read
read
it.
it.
You'd recommend it? What did you think?
Maybe. I
Maybe.
give it like a 6.
He needs to read through it and stare at the pictures for longer next time, I think.
A 6 is pretty low for me. Maybe I'll have to look at it online.
Yeah, a 6 is pretty average for me. I got it because myself, anyways, I got it because the collection was like really nice, the master editions, and then people talk about it saying it's super good all the time. So I was like, damn, hell yeah, I'm getting it. It was like NR8 stuff, holiday sale or something like that when I picked it up, and it was like $80
Yeah,
or something for the whole set.
1 volume. And
Oh.
2 volumes of Sidonia, just because I found them all on sale.
Of the master.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think Sidonia has more text. I don't know. Gundam's another series I've been like super into lately. I've watched all of UC up into F91, so I went through a lot of Gundam, but it's really good. It's so good. Anyways, I gotta go. So we'll talk again, I guess. Let's see. Obviously not the 29th, the 5th of February, tentatively. I'll do another vote again, see if we can get more people in. Maybe if they want a different time. I don't know. Do you guys think we should do like earlier or later? I don't know if I could really do earlier though, honestly. But maybe
I mean,
a
I
little
can't
later.
do much later, to be honest.
You want? Yeah, I
I-
could imagine you want much later
Yeah.
because then that's early for you. Yeah.
Too early.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can try doing that. Maybe like 8 or 9 might work better for people. Maybe people won't troll and say let's do Tuesday because I don't work that day, and then they don't read anything. I still can't believe that he did that. God damn it, JDS. Trying to get everybody to come together on Tuesday and he doesn't even read the damn thing. What the heck? Anyways, whatever.
I was thinking of posting earlier to ask who all was reading or like how far people had gotten.
Yeah, I think
But
that probably would have been a good idea. I didn't even think to ask that. Well, no, we did talk about that earlier, and I think only you responded to it, right?
I don't know.
I was
I
like,
remember.
oh, I read this. I read the first 2 in one, and you're like, oh, I read it all in the first week. And I was like, oh, sweet. Someone read it. Someone read it. That's what I was thinking at the time.
No, I really did jump the gun.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
got it done all early and like the only one sitting in the chat being like, okay, I'm done.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
Oh man. Oh well. Anyways, we'll figure it out next time. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, have a good day
Good
or
night.
night or
Yeah.
whatever.
I say good night. No, wait. Yeah, I don't know.
Good night, morning, sorrow. Good night, morning.
Good sleep.